Hey, y'all need a break. Listen to these stories from r/entitled people. My twin sister lied about my nephew dying to try to get money out of me, then told me to kill myself and my unborn baby, killing two birds with one stone. More my twin sister's actions here and here. So this happened last night. My English is not the best, so forgive me for grammar mistakes. Also warning, this is going to get dark kinda. It was about 3 a.m. when I woke up to my phone going off. TS is for twin sister and this is a short version of the text messages. TS, Alize. TS, Alize, I'm sorry. Please talk to me. TS, Alize. TS, Alize, respond to me. Me, thinking that this was my dad. F off, dad, it's 3 in the morning. TS, this is TS. Me, oh. F off, TS, it's 3 in the morning. TS, I need to talk to you. TS, please hear me out. Me, didn't you tell me not to talk to you or your family? TS, that was in the past, time to focus on the present. Me, didn't I block you? I took your advice and blocked her ass. TS, dodging the question, don't worry about that, I just need to talk to you, it's really important. TS, it's about your nephew. Now, my nephews are everything to me, so when I saw that, my attitude changed. Me, what's wrong, is he okay? TS, he needs emergency surgery that can save his life. TS, the doctors found something wrong with his heart and Junior needs surgery, or else he's not going to make it. TS, we don't have the money for it, that's why I'm turning to you. I know we have our difficulties in the past, but I need you to give me that money, for Junior. I fell for this, because my brother-in-law's family does have a history of heart problems and my nephews are everything. I was crying. My boss has power of attorney, I believe that's what it's called, and I can take some of my money out of my inheritance. I don't want my nephew to die, he just turned 2. Me, how much? TS, 133,000. Me, I'll see what I can do. TS, thank you so much, this means so much to my family, more than you think. Then something hit me. See, my boss and my brother-in-law are very close. Like talking on the phone every night, level of closeness. Because my boss doesn't want my brother-in-law to turn into him, to be a doormat. He doesn't want my brother to feel like he have to stay in an unhappy marriage and always have an out through my boss. Well, the night before this, my boss was talking to my brother and he didn't say anything about my nephew's health. In fact, my brother-in-law showed off my nephew's Halloween costume and my nephew looked adorable and healthy. I feel like an idiot, but I thought about that TS was telling the truth. Maybe they found out that my nephew's health is that moment, so I wanted to test her. My brother-in-law is not with her at the moment, so this was a perfect time. Me, so I talked to my brother-in-law. TS, why are you lying? TS, what? TS, why would you do that? TS, you couldn't leave well enough alone, can you? Yup, I'm stupid. Me, I didn't say shit to him. Why the hell would you do that? Me, using with nephew's health squeeze money out of me, that is so low. TS, you are so selfish. Give me that money. You won't give me it, so I have to do what I have to do. Me, so you decided to lie about your son needing medical surgery that can possibly save his life. What the fuck is wrong with you? TS, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? You think you're hot shit, flaunting around your wealth. Bitch, I still use Mistplay, taking pictures of you and your fiancé and posting them everywhere. Isn't that what couples do? You just trying to upstage me. The family, as a rich, my boss's family, you don't need that money. Give it to me and I can put it to good use. Me, piss off. Me, I'm so stupid for falling for that. TS, are you still pregnant? That one stunned me, because she doesn't ask about my pregnancy and she flip-flops between being rude about it and doesn't believe me. Me, what? TS, are you still pregnant? And if you are, you should kill yourself. I just stared at my phone. It wasn't something I was expecting from her. I should have been expecting it because she told me to kill my unborn child already. TS, you should kill yourself and your baby, 2 birds with 1 stone. You already tried to kill yourself once, just go through with it this time. You're just going to be a terrible mother anyway and no one loves you. Not mom, not brother, not sister, not your boss, not your fiancé, not no one, we all hate you. And if you have that baby it's going to hate you just like we do. So just do it. And she would go on and on and on. She got to me. She broke me. I just laid back on my bed and cry while my twin sister was still telling me to kill myself. So I was just thinking that maybe she's right. Maybe I wouldn't be a bad mother. Is this world better without me? It was my baby, or I'm just allergic to my twin sister's bullshit, because I started vomiting. All over my bed. I ran to the bathroom to vomit in the toilet and my hair got into the toilet as well. So, my hair was covered in vomit and doo-doo water, and I was crying. Then I was surprised to feel a tiny baby hand patting my back. I looked up to find the youngest son, Peter, patting my back, saying, "It's okay, let it out, he is the sweetest little 4-year-old I have ever met." Eventually Peter left and came back with his dad, and my boss immediately went to dad mode when he saw me. My boss helped me up and washed my hair for me. He was drying my hair when I asked, "Do you love me?" My boss thought I was joking but realized I was serious. TS got that under my skin. My boss said, "Ladybug, I wouldn't be taking care of your high yellow ass if I didn't love you." That made me cry more, because I feel I didn't deserve his love and I told him as such. He was consoling me when I said I'm gonna be a bad mom, that I'm going to fuck up with this kid and that I'm already fucking up with his kids. Then Peter said as he ate out of a box of mini wheats, "You doing your best and that's okay." He just shrugged, put another handful of mini wheats in his mouth then went to his room. Peter doesn't know how much those words helped me. After this, my boss chilled with me until I fell asleep. I didn't tell my boss what happened last night and he knows that if he pushes things, I will bury them. So when I show my boss the message that my sister sent me this morning, I don't know how to describe how he felt in that moment other than, I want to commit murder. He was so mad and I have to physically stop him from leaving the house and kicking my sister's ass. But one of those comments sent both of us over the edge. My twin sister said, "Be careful around your boss, he might pull that man on you." TS mean Lucifer. Lucifer forced me to give him oral when I was 18 and proceeded to groom me and raped me when I was 19. Hell, I can say, be careful around your sister, she might pull TS on you because she did the same shit to me, plus the several years of torment and her thinking my boss might do the same thing. I have never wanted to sick 2 violent-filled 9-year-olds on someone more than I want to do at that moment. Boss asked what I wanted to do. I told him I don't want my fiancé to know about this because I don't want to ruin his trip. And I want my mother to know, so that's what we did. We just took screenshots of the messages and sent it all to my mother and I never ever see that sassy, French black woman piss more before. And my boss told my brother-in-law about it cause he has the right to know what his wife is doing and that he felt like she isn't safe to be around kids. My brother-in-law gave my sister an ultimatum, to go to therapy and a psych evaluation or divorce and she isn't getting the kids. I don't think they're getting a divorce but my brother-in-law is over here with my boss as he filed paperwork for a new apartment that my boss is helping him set up. My twin sister is losing her mind. Calling my brother-in-law, my boss, and I, going between pleading and begging to get the kids back or being a rambling mess. I am okay after everything. I just need a hug and I'm doing okay. TS just got to me and I am better than I was last night. The boss had a long talk and he wanted me to know that I was loved and I finish it with the usual, "I love you, white dad." He responded in kind with a, "I love you too, black daughter." Now I'm about to crochet me a ghost and I'm highly debated with myself to give it boobies or not. Entitled relatives think they deserve more than my adopted son. To give some context here, I must say that I'm an IT engineer with toxic family relationships. I did cut off my father and my uncles and aunts, yet I keep in contact with my cousins and their children, which somehow I treat as mine, as I had none and I'm an only child, therefore is the closest I got. I always prioritized success over relationships so I'm single, and through the years I felt that my cousins' children weren't mine, therefore I wanted to raise one of my own. It took me some time, but finally, I adopted an 8-year-old kid, as those usually age out of foster care. I love the experience of raising a kid, yet I have had to deal with some entitledness from my cousins. It turns out that every now and then I usually spend some money traveling with my cousins and their children, yet this year for obvious reasons I need to save money in order to get all of the stuff my son would need, and I'm planning on going big, the best of the best I could afford. I just explained this to my cousins and told them this year our trip together will be cancelled. They said nothing so I thought they understood the whole situation. Anyway, I wanted my kid to socialize with my cousin's children so I invite them all to a get-together party. After about 2 months, when my son felt comfortable enough, and somehow all of the kids were so mad and refused to play with my kid. He just sit in a corner and tried to not cry, but he did. I just talked with the kids and they said he was not part of the family and they deserve more, as he is adopted and they, as my family, were entitled to the trip to the parks in Florida. I was in shock and asked them where they got that from, and they told me how their parents have told them the reason why I took their trip was my son, who comes from the streets and isn't even family. I was fuming, so I told them all to leave. I had a Zoom meeting with just my cousins who tell me that their children must come first, and I told them they made me realize my son come first, so I canceled their college funds, their private school tuitions and just told them that if my kid is not part of their family neither am I and they were cut off. I have been called unreasonable, but I think my son comes first and I made the right decision. Entitled Woman Kills Grandpa Then Sues Grandma for Mental Anguish. This is a true story that happened to my family back in the mid-90s back when I was a teenager, and I hadn't forgotten about it, but it just occurred to me how appropriate this would be for this subreddit. TLDR is in the title. This takes place in Southern California. My grandfather had a stroke in the early 90s and mostly recovered from it, with a little bit of physical consequences. His doctor recommended physical activity to help continue his recovery, so he used to go walking every day around their neighborhood. One day, he's crossing the street and he's hit by a woman in her 30s driving a sedan who ran the red light. He was taken to the hospital and survived for a few days. I don't remember how long, but I remember driving 2 hours to the hospital so my dad could see him, but then passed away due to the injuries. The police found the woman 100% at fault and asked my grandmother if she wanted to press charges against her. My dad and my uncle argued that she should, but my grandmother told them that it wouldn't change what happened and the woman who hit him would be suffering enough with the memory of her actions. Fair enough, everyone starts moving on with their lives. 6 months later, my grandmother is served with a civil lawsuit. The woman who killed her husband was suing my grandma for mental anguish, as the trauma of her having killed him was so bad she needed money from his estate to make it better. Luckily, my grandparents made a lot of friends during their life, and one of their best friends was a lawyer. They had done a lot for him and his wife, so he basically took the documents from her and told her, "I'm going to take care of this, it's not going to cost you anything, and I don't want you to worry about it. It's my turn to take care of you." We never heard anything else from the woman or her lawyer, though my grandparents' lawyer friend later talked to my dad and his brothers and let them know some more details he found out about the situation that we hadn't heard. He had gotten the case thrown out, not surprising. But in addition to running the red light, the woman had been driving on a suspended license and had been driving without her glasses, and she had a corrective lens restriction on her license. The DMV had taken her license as a result of the incident, but since my grandmother didn't press charges, she never faced any criminal consequences. And then she repaid that kindness by filing a lawsuit against the woman who showed her compassion and kindness. My grandmother was extremely lucky to have a family friend who was a lawyer and who was willing to handle things at no cost. For many other people it would have cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars just to get the case thrown out. Edit. Wow, this blew up more than I thought it would. Thanks to all for the awards and the sympathy. Karen thinks she is entitled to my personal computer because I'm sitting in a public space. My fiancé travels for work and I work remotely, so sometimes I'll accompany him and we'll make a little trip out of it. Normally, we have to check in/out of the hotel during work hours, so I wind up working for a few hours from a coffee shop or something. On this particular trip, we were in a really small town in middle US, so there weren't any coffee shops. I worked, then, from the lobby of the hotel before we could check in and after we had to check out. On the day we had to check out, I was sitting in the business center, which was really just a double-sided desk with one computer on one side and an empty workspace with some outlets on the other. I happened to be on my 20-minute lunch break, but I had my laptop open in front of me. This lady, we'll call her Karen, sat down to use the computer. I wasn't really paying attention, but I heard some vague clicking from the mouse and keyboard and huffing. She walked off and I heard snippets of a conversation between her and the person at the front desk, where they explained the computer likely just needed to be rebooted. She walked back over and stood next to me for a second before I heard, "Excuse me, are you using this?" I looked up and she was gesturing at my laptop on the desk in front of me. I told her, "Sorry, this is my personal laptop." She rolled her eyes at me and said, "You're not even using it. I just need it for like an hour." I've read stories about Karens and have even seen one or two in the wild, but I've never had a direct encounter with one, so I was ready. Like I said, this is my laptop. I don't really let strangers use it. She huffed at me, which I really thought people didn't actually do, and said, "You're sitting in the lobby, and you're not even using it." I was floored at this point. Using private property in a public space makes it public property now. Ma'am, it's my laptop. I'm using it. And even if I weren't, I still wouldn't let you use it. She huffed again and stormed off to the front desk. I felt bad for the lady at the front who had to deal with her after that, but she never came back. Apparently rebooting the hotel's computer was too much effort for her. Entitled Lady Claims Woman with Child is a Terrorist, I Take the Hit. Okay, so I work at a large chain grocery store in a well-to-do area. Our customers, while a lot may look like typical Karens, are actually really nice and amazing people. That being said, I was racking carts and I hear this lady on the phone behind me. I don't know why they come to this country, they can barely even speak the language. I'm behind one right now who's probably a terrorist. I look in the window reflection and I can see that she's walking behind a young woman in a hijab who has a small child. The young woman just put her son in a cart and I can see that she looks like she's about to cry. So I decide, fuck it, I'll take the hit for her. I spin around to Karen. Boy. I take bloody exception to that. Just because I'm Irish does not mean I am or ever was in the IRA. I look at both Karen and the young woman. Both were speechless and all Karen does is point at the young woman. So I continue me to the young woman, "You saw that, didn't you? This lady just called me a bloody terrorist. I might speak Gulga and wear a Catholic cross. I might even be from Ireland. And damn it, I'm bloody proud. But I am not a terrorist. At this point my manager walks over to see what all the fuss is about. Me, this lady just called me a terrorist. Turns to the young woman, you heard her call me that too, right? My manager looks at the young woman and instantly catches on. He tells Karen that kind of conduct is not okay in our store no matter who it's directed at or why, and that she needs to leave. Karen, still speechless, just walks out. I turn to the young woman. I do apologize about the yelling, ma'am, but I'm proud of who I am. If you need anything while you're shopping, just let me or one of my co-workers know. The woman thanks me and pushes her cart away while sporting the biggest grin. My manager then makes the comment, entertainment tonight, $0. Teaching Karen a lesson about discrimination, $0. Seeing that young woman walking away sporting a grin like the Cheshire Cat, priceless. Entitled racist lady demands that she should order first. For context, I work at a local coffee shop. Besides our main goal on serving coffee, we also strive to make our shop a safe space for people of all kinds to sit down and have a nice warm drink. This literally just happened about half an hour ago and I'm still fuming. There was this very nice couple who came in. They couldn't speak English very well, so the husband used Google Translate to type what he wanted to order. He kept saying sorry, but I was like, no, I get it. Learning a new language can be difficult, take all the time you need. Unfortunately, this older lady was behind them and complained that they were taking too long. The couple was only at the counter for 5 minutes at most, and said the classic, "You're in America, speak English." She went on to say some pretty racist things and demanded that she gets her order instead because the N-words, God, even typing that makes me furious, are taking too long, and that she had more important things to do. I was pissed and demanded that she get out of the shop and never come back. I will never allow people who try and speak against a fellow customer's race, sexuality, or anything else to come back, as our shop is meant to be a safe community. Please be patient with people who don't know English very well. They're human just like us and deserve the same respect and love that any other person should get. Edit. Thank you all for the awards and positive comments. All of you are wonderful people and help me remember that despite all the entitled people and parents I have to deal with, there's always gonna be people who will put a smile on my face. I have plenty more entitled people stories to share, but those will have to wait another day. Stay safe and stay hydrated, my friends. Lady thought I was trans because I got my wife tampons. This happened last weekend. On weekends I work part-time delivering food with DoorDash. In my area I make good side money. Last Saturday, my wife texted me to stop by the store after work and pick her up some tampons, and she sends me a photo of the box that she needs. I'm a guy, never used one, so I would be clueless without that info. So here I am, standing in the aisle looking at all the female products, still confused and lost even with the photo because, well, I don't see it on the shelf. Then I hear a lady say, "See, no matter how you dress, you're still born a woman." I look up to see who is talking to who, and I see her, just standing there glaring at me, a Karen, I'm guessing in her late 40s, not much older than me. I respond with, "I'm sorry, were you talking to me?" as I look around and notice her and I are the only two in the aisle. She just rolls her eyes and starts a rant about transgender and so on. She's being very insulting to anyone who is transgender. So after she finishes I just start laughing. Her face turns as red as my DoorDash mask that I'm wearing in the store. She starts to scream, then I cut her off. I'm 6'1", 280 pounds. Look lady, if I was born a woman, would I look as clueless and lost as I do right now? Have you not ever seen a man buy tampons for a woman? See, this is called be a good husband. My wife wants tampons and I'll be damned if I come home empty-handed. I like keeping my head attached during the demonic possession week that you women have once a month, and I see you're taking yours out on me right now. I hold up my phone and point at the pic. Now do you see this brand on the shelf? She backed away, eyes big, face drained, and walked pretty quickly down the aisle tearing up. I finally found the brand, checked out, and made my wife happy. Like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.